everyone. It's Nicky here from Pestie Connections, and I've got a bit of an exciting morning for me, nighttime for these girls. I've got the lovely Rachel Mendes from Last Call Pest Control in Ontario, Canada, and I've got Suzy Rayner from Valkyrie Pest Solutions in Manitoba in Canada. Now I had to read that because there's no way I would have remembered, but you girls, I'm really excited to have you girls on. I've been following you two on social media but for quite a while. In particular, you, Rachel. You
Oh,
first caught my eye with your TikToks,
oh,
and
geez.
you were one of the first female technicians that I was watching TikToks, and I thought this girl's pretty. She's pretty funny. She's pretty cool. But what I loved is like you could relate to everything that you were doing in your TikToks. You could just
That
relate
was the
to it.
idea.
And I loved it. And this is going back quite a while back now. And I introduced your TikToks to my female technician who works for me, and she started following you.
Oh, fun.
And it wasn't until recently, Rachel, that I realized you were at PestWorld in 2018 at the PWIPM breakfast.
I
And
was.
I only just realized, I thought, oh my gosh, yes, you look so different. But I remember you was it the empowerment award you won, or you won some
It
award?
was. Yeah, it was the empowerment grant through the MPMA.
Yep. So that was obviously the first time that I'd seen you, and I actually didn't click that you were the TikTok girl. So
Oh,
now I know that, so I'm
they look a
even
lot
more
different.
excited. And then I seen you having a bit of a chit chat on social with Suzy, and I thought these girls are really cool. And I've only just realised you girls are friends. You're like besties, pesty besties, you girls.
Pestie Besties.
So
Best friend.
Gal pals.
both from Canada. I want to find out more about you two because I love your personalities, and I'm hoping I can really bring that out in this interview and find out more about what you do. So I'm gonna start with you, Suzy. Like, how did you get into the industry?
The industry. Well, I was actually a building manager. I worked for a big property management company in Winnipeg, and my building got cockroaches and bed bugs, and I
Yay.
had them in my unit. So I know what it's like to go through it. I know what it's like to have someone come into my house and tell me what to do. And it just happened to be a female technician who came, and I actually kind of started up a friendship with her, and we kept in touch. And then years later, I saw where she was working, was hiring, and I applied. And then I fell in love. So,
When she rocked up, did you go, oh, it's a female? Or was it just sort of, oh yeah, it's it's a female?
well, it was honestly my first encounter with an exterminator in like I'd never even thought of it as a career that
Yeah.
existed before it because I'd never needed it. I grew up a country kid, so there was like we dealt with mice and stuff like that on our own or
Yeah.
so yeah.
So were you expecting a male to turn up?
No, okay, I already knew that this company, like this lady was our regular exterminator that came like on a monthly basis. So
Yeah.
for me, I didn't really think of the industry at all.
Yeah.
So at
Most of
all.
us don't. Most of us never think of pest control as a career that we want to get involved in. It's we pretty much most of us fall into it. It's
Yeah.
either born into it with the family, or we literally just fall into it. So it's definitely not a career we all kind of think about. But what I'm finding is, yeah, once you're in it, you're like, oh my gosh, how did we not know about this? This is an awesome industry. So
I can't imagine doing anything else ever.
yes. So how long ago was this
Ooh,
when you first called in an exterminator?
probably I want to say 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
That would have been. And then I didn't get into the industry until end of 2014.
Yeah. And so you
And then
went to work for you seen a job advertisement for the particular female technician that came to your house. That was who she worked for.
Yeah, it was a very large company. So I worked for one of the largest ones in the world. So,
yeah. And how long were you working for them before you decided I'm going to go out on my own? And why? Why did you want to go out on your own?
well, I worked for them for almost 8 years. And I had a series of bad managers.
Yep.
And, I just, well, to really want to go out on my own was probably had a lot to do with Rachel, and then our mutual friend Kaya, who Kaya's the one that helped Rachel start her company.
So
So
you were the
I
inspiring
watched.
one, Rachel. You're the one that
Yeah,
inspired her
You
to
just
go
pass
out
it on.
on her own.
You just pass it on.
yes, yeah, and that's kind of what we want to do, is just keep helping women do this. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So, Rachel, how
Yeah.
did you get involved in the pest
Oh, this is
industry?
fun. I was actually working at a funeral home, and I wanted to be a funeral director. And this was back in 2011. So I was 21. I was eager. I just wanted to work in death care. And then I had a really bad injury. I had a stretcher collapse on my leg. And I was like, maybe this is a sign that this isn't right for me. The hours were bad. It just didn't work out. So I ended up leaving, and I was just kind of looking for something that was going to pay my bills at the time. And then I found this company, and for a little while I was doing like feminine hygiene disposal, odor control, just kind of like the bathroom stuff. But
Yep.
I really liked the company. I was just like super bored. So I did that for about 6 months. And then I saw that they did pest control too. And I'm not even gonna lie, like I was not one of those kids that had my hands in the dirt. I didn't really like bugs. I was a little bit phobic um, back in the day.
I
And
find
I
that
was like,
hard to believe now.
I know. And now like it says bug life. And so
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
everything complete 360. So I was just, wanting to just try it. And so I got licensed in 2012. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm really good at this. This is really fun. I really like it. And so I just got like more and more passionate about it. I got like we have different classes of our licenses, and I have a whole bunch of
Yeah,
them, like way more
I've
than
read
I
up
need.
about that, and I want to touch base about that after because it's very
Yeah.
different from what we've got here.
It's different. I mean, even like Suzy and I, like our licensing systems are different by province, but I was
Yep.
just so interested. Like I was so invested in it. And I worked for a big company, and then I worked for a smaller company, and then I just actually COVID hit is really honestly what happened. I was going through a divorce, and I was like, I need to leave. I need to figure something out. And then I was like, I'm just gonna start my own. And so, like Suzy said, I was chit chatting with the gals, and Kaya had had her business for a while, eh?
Mm.
And it just kind of, I was like, maybe I can do this. Like maybe this is exactly what I need to do. So I moved like an hour and a half outside of Toronto, and I started my business out here, and the rest is history. So I started in 2020 is when I started last call.
Yeah, right. Yeah, during the COVID. So that's a that would have been daunting. Would have
It
been
was,
daunting.
it
But
was, it was, it was kind of scary, but it just felt right. Like it felt like the perfect time. Like everything sort of fell into place. I was living back with my parents at the time, and they were really, really supportive. And my dad helped me outfit my truck, and um, it just felt right. Like it felt like the right thing to do, and it all fit together so perfectly.
yeah, so what was it like back like over there in 2020? Obviously, yeah, COVID was rampant at that time, and starting a business like. Was everything shut down, locked down over there? How did you go, like with actually getting work, or were you more busy than normal? Because the weird thing for us, where I live, we actually our business just skyrocketed, and we were so busy because people were at home and they were seeing all the insects and the spiders and the ants, so they were calling us, oh, we've got ants. And yeah, our business just skyrocketed. What was it like for you over there starting a business?
Um, it was it was strange. Everything was very weird at the time, and I had done most of my career in my life like in the big city. And so the needs of the city were different than they were here, like where I am now. So at the time when it first started, I was still working in Toronto. Everything was shut down pretty much, but I was apartments. Like I did mostly housing and apartments.
Yep.
So nothing really changed for me that way, but um it was just a really uncertain kind of scary sort of I don't know what's going on. And I was living with my parents who, are obviously older. And my mom was, concerned about me being in and out of these places, these really, really heavy populated places when we didn't really know anything yet. And so I had asked for a layoff. And then when I was off from like March until June when I started the company. And then
Yep.
I ended up actually working far outside of my area just because I desperately needed work. And it was slow in the beginning, and then it really picked up when I actually physically moved here. And that's when I started to see how different the needs of the community are here. Like we have a lot of bugs out here outside versus the
Yep.
concrete jungle where there's really just like roaches and bed bugs. So it was just a very different sort of thing. I did a lot of work outside. There's a lot of rodents out here. So it ended up, I was busy. The bathroom challenge was really probably the biggest problem, is that I would be on the road all day and everything's closed, like the gas stations, like you can't even go to the bathroom. Like that was really my biggest sort of challenge. But I don't do restaurant work. Like I
Yeah,
don't really
what
work
did
in
you
any.
do there? You're busting to go to the toilet, and what
It
do
was
you do?
rough. I started to figure out which ones were open.
Yeah, yeah,
Like and still to this day, like I know where all the good bathrooms are, like in my city.
yeah.
So I'll never run into that problem again,
Do you guys
especially
have an
now.
app like over there? Like we've got an app here. It's a toilet app that we can actually go on, and it tells us where all the public toilets are, and people rate them so you know if they're dirty toilets or they're clean toilets. And there is actually a toilet app. Do you guys have that over there?
Toronto might, maybe Winnipeg. No.
No, we don't even have public toilets, really.
Oh wow. Yeah,
It's
Toronto does, I
awful.
think, but
Yeah.
I live in a small town, so it doesn't. We don't have that kind of stuff out here. You just got to
Yeah,
know where the bathrooms are.
yeah. So what's Rachel? What's your with your pest control? What do you specialize in? What's your main pest that?
Housing. I specialize in housing. So I
Yeah,
specialize in bed bugs and cockroaches mostly. It's my favorite thing to do.
yeah,
Um, so that's what I spend the majority of my time doing, especially now that I'm not working as much. It's sort of my passion project is the social housing. But we do everything.
yeah.
Like we do I mean, I guess I shouldn't say everything. You guys probably have all kinds of different stuff. So we've got a lot of box elder beetles, we've got cluster flies and earwigs, centipedes,
Yeah.
ants, lots of ants, rodents,
So
mice and rats.
are you a Dr. Denny Miller fan? Obviously with bed bugs and and
Oh yeah.
the German roaches. But I had a ball. I recently just spent 2 weeks with her when she was over here in Australia,
Oh,
and she is an amazing
she's
person, and what a character.
incredible. I've got a picture of her over there when I met her before that, but when we were in PestWorld in San Diego, I have a fun
Yeah,
picture of us from there. So she's been an idol since day one. Like I've just loved her work, and I've seen her speak many, many times, and she's just fantastic.
yeah, she's such a big personality. She's a bit of a celebrity, isn't she? Like she's a
She
celebrity in
is.
the pest control industry, and it was so much fun having her over here. We lost her quite a few times. She would wander off. She
Yeah.
was like, "Where's Dinny gone?" Like you can't go into the bush like that.
She's
She was just that excited to be here and find anything that moved. She was excited to see any insect that moved, and even an ant. She got excited over an ant, and it was so much fun having her
like,
here.
girl,
And
she's really fun.
yeah, we are very lucky to have her actually. And so you, Susie, what about you? What do you specialize in?
Uh, Similar. My passion is definitely doing bed bugs and roaches. But
Yep.
I guess my specialty is carpenter ants.
Yep. Okay. Yep. How did you girls meet? So tell me the story. What's obviously you've met, I'm assuming, online at some point. How did the friendship blossom? I want to hear about you, how you guys met.
A while ago. Like, I don't even know. Like, we've been pals for, geez,
Couple years now,
years.
I would
Yeah,
say.
several
Yeah.
years. I
Well, I remember
remember.
seeing you on the like the pest control, just the regular pest control Facebook group.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
and I was like, I wasn't sure how I felt about you at that point. Because you
Right?
never know. Women can sometimes be like pick me's, right?
Hmm.
And I was like, and then it
Not
was
sure.
on the women in pest control group. Then that's where we started to, and then Kaya, I think
And
probably
then
brought
Kaya,
us
I
together.
think you're right. I think that Kaya sort of bridged the gap. And
Hmm.
then
Yeah.
when we went to BC, we were so excited. Oh my God. We went to BC in February of
So
this
this
year.
was like a pest world in Canada.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, in
We met, yeah.
British Columbia
Yeah,
is.
sorry, British Columbia. So that's
Yep.
on the west coast of the country. So
Yep.
we had met there and it was just, we just so much fun. We just had so much fun. It was like we've just been friends like our whole lives. And there's just such there's just such key support there. Like it's just really
Mm-hmm.
nice to, even if we're not, like neighbors, like it's just so nice to have like a really solid gal pal, like on the same page, gets exactly what we're going through. And, so we've kind of, virtually been through
Mm-hmm.
quite a bit, the transition in between big companies and starting our businesses and, like family stuff. And it's just been like a really cool sort of dynamic. And then you introduced me to now like one of our pals, which is a girl in Kingston that's starting her own business. And so this is kind of like a Kaya brought us together, and then like
Mm-hmm.
Suzy brought like us together. And so Paige is not too far from me, so she's just an hour away. So I've been like mentoring her, and we have a little group chat, and then we have a little group chat with Kaya, and like it's just so much girl power. Like we've just got like an overflowing amount of girl power in our chit chats throughout the
That is
day.
so awesome. You keep mentioning Kyle. I think I want to meet this Kyle because she seems to be the crown of all you girls. Like she
Oh, she's
seems
so
to
fun.
have brought
Yeah.
a lot of yous together, and I actually I haven't met her or know much about her, so I wouldn't mind finding when we log off. I'm going to find out a bit more about Kaya too. So you
She's
mentioned
in Thunder
Jeremy.
Bay now, right?
Yeah, she's in
So
Thunder Bay now, which is closer to you than it
Yeah.
is to me. Thunder Bay's like
Weird.
16 hours from
away
me.
you girls from
Yeah.
each other because I just think I use are both in Canada, like just
Oh no,
catch
we're
up for a
far.
cup of tea or a drink. But
No.
so yeah, sorry,
We're
how far did you
probably like a
say?
24-hour drive, 25,
Yeah.
Okay.
26-hour drive.
Oh, see
Yeah.
that? Yeah, that's not. I guess it's not too bad. It's where
So
you got here in Australia.
I'm down in like southern Ontario,
Yep.
right? So like there's like a small part, right? So I'm on like the east side. And then Ontario goes like a 24-hour drive to the west. And then
Yep.
that's kind of where Manitoba starts. And
Mm-hmm.
so Susie's fairly close to like the Ontario side, but I'm really far from the Manitoba side, like really
Yep.
far. Like I'm
Yeah.
closer to Florida than I am to the other side of Ontario. Ontario's
It's
massive.
crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
insane.
you mentioned well when you first met, and look, just before I mention that is the good thing about COVID, I will say, is that we've all learned to talk on on the internet because that's all we could do when COVID hit, and I think it has really put so many friendships out there because
Mhm.
honestly I used to just be a face girl. So but when COVID hit, I was going nuts. I built a bar. I ripped out my theater room and built a bar because there was nothing else to do. And I set my computer up, and basically I would sit there and have a drink and talk to people on Zoom, and I made lifelong friends from it. So I will thank COVID for that. And you girls finally met, so face to face, and you said, you really just hit it off. What did you say to each other, like after talking for so long? What did you get up to? Did you get up in any mischief? I reckon you would have. I could just tell your personalities. What did you get up to?
Well, Vancouver's fun.
Vancouver was
They have
fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's an amazing city. If you ever get a chance to come to
Yeah.
Canada, like Vancouver is
Well,
an
I will get
amazing
there one
place to
day.
visit.
I will get there. So
It
did
was
you girls hit the town when you got to Vancouver?
yeah, I mean,
Oh
we
yeah.
went to the aquarium. That was really like a super big that was
Yes.
really, really fun. We did. We went to the aquarium. We went like into this. Neither of us are like super big like party animals, but we did, a bunch of sightseeing and we did hit the town and it was really fun and we made like, lifelong memories, lots of fun stuff,
Mhm.
so many laughs. Like we laughed so hard like our tummies hurt. Like it was really, really
Rachel
fun.
went across the suspension bridge. I was
I
so proud of
did.
you.
I did. I have a massive fear of heights, and I went across the suspension bridge. And there
Yeah.
there's photo evidence of me like
Yes,
freaking out and being totally panicked.
I
I
have
just,
one.
but it was. I'm glad that I did it. Like I'm glad that I braved it, and it went by so fast. But the weather was so nice because it was in
Mm.
February, and
Yeah.
it's cold here. Like it's really, really cold. It's colder in Manitoba, but it's definitely I'm a bit of a beach bum. I don't really like the cold. So going to BC in February, and this actually, when we were here, like here, was like the only 2 days that were really, really disrespectfully cold last
Yes,
winter, and we
yeah,
missed them. So I
it
was like,
was
it
awesome.
was just rain. We saw like a little tiny patch of snow this big, and we took a picture of it because like we both get like buried in snow, and so it was quite strange to in February see just like a little like toonie sized thing of snow. Like it was ridiculous.
I'd
I feel
hate
like
to
it was
see your
planted there.
phones. I'd hate to see your phones and the pictures and that you girls probably constantly send each other and the messages
Very
you
silly
probably.
stuff.
So
Very
yeah,
fun
I
stuff.
definitely will. I'm going to read out something because I don't. When I got you girls to fill out a little form for me just so I could get to know you before jumping on, and you girls really, you really are, pesty besties. So Rachel, this is what Suzy said about you.
Oh,
So.
geez.
All right. She said, Rachel is like the best cheerleader to have on your side. She's a fierce advocate and will always make sure you do what's best for you. She's one of my best friends, and I'm so incredibly grateful to know her. That's so sweet. I love that. And this is what Rachel said. Suzy is one of the strongest women I know. She's tough yet remains so compassionate and caring of others. And I already know that before even talking to you girls, just watching you on social media, and as I said, like I love your friendship, and that's why I've brought you on, and I find you both very inspiring. But well, I'll start with you, Suzy. What do you find the hardest being a female technician? What have you sort of have you had any setbacks, or what is there anything you've struggled with being a female technician?
Since going out on my own, absolutely not. Um,
Yeah.
because I find the customers are so happy when I show up. It's so rare that I come across someone that is expecting a man or would rather have a man. All of the problems I had as a female technician were when I was working in a big company that had a set culture already, and you're kind of bucking against this culture and having to behave like the men in order to get
Yeah.
promoted or whatever. But I am a woman and I have kids and I have outside responsibilities, and I think the things that make us really good at this job maybe are the things that are feminine.
Yep.
Having more compassion has made this job so much easier for me. I get a lot more customer cooperation because I
Yep.
can just, make them feel like I actually care about what's going on. I'm not just coming there and doing stuff to their home.
Yep.
You know.
I absolutely agree. And something I want to touch base with you, and we had a bit of a conversation before we hit record, is back in the day, back in the younger days, you were a bit of an anti-feminist. And
Yeah.
I want to touch base on that because of where you are now. And the reason I want to touch base on that, because, I was too. I was one of these um, mums who you stay at home and you look after the kids, and the husband goes out to work. And not my husband never made me feel that was the case. That was what I believed in. And I really couldn't understand why females would want to go out and work when they should be at home looking after the kids. And it was a real shock to me when I moved interstate and we started our pest control business. And I really only got involved in the pest control business because I had to help hubby out, and we needed the money. Otherwise, we were going to be broke very quickly. And so it wasn't until then, when I had to put my youngest into daycare, that I realized that, wow, this, like, my whole perception changed. And I really did look at mums going out to work going, no, they should be at home with their kids, and that's why you have children. And now my whole perception has changed, and now I'm involved with women in pest management, and I'm an advocate for women getting involved and getting out there and working. So tell us a bit about, I guess, your journey on from back in those days to now.
Well, and I was sort of one of those anti-feminists, more so that I believed that we had achieved equality, that there were no longer barriers, that women were their own worst enemy kind of thing. And it was actually when I went to university, and I was an English major, and I was last in line picking classes, and we have to take certain numbers of like social studies classes and English classes and whatnot for your degree. And so I was trying to find some English credits, and the last one was like a gender studies class. And it's funny because you have those Facebook memories that pop up.
Yep.
And every once in a while
it comes up. Why did I put that up?
Every once in a while it comes up where it's like, I had to get into a gender studies class, and now I've got to pretend to be a feminist. And that was like in 2011 or something. I look at it like, man, that class changed the way that I thought about so many things: trans rights, feminism, how the patriarchy hurts men as much as it's hurting women, and just how there are still these barriers in place, and how women themselves uphold these barriers. Because we're upholding patriarchy. It's what we've been socialized in. So now I just try to I even with my kids, I try to make it so that that's not how they're being raised, so they don't think of things that way.
I think our past, it really does pave the way to where we are now, and everything does happen for a reason. And look, you've had it a bit tough in the past. You've mentioned that you've been homeless. Do you find that really has, I guess, it's put you where you are now, like your values now and where you're going now? Like, I look at you and I think, well, you're a massive advocate for people who've really had it tough and have turned it around. And you've been homeless, you've been through the addictions, like with alcohol, and been through all that. And look at you now, look where you are. You've got your own business, and your family, your kids. How many kids have you got?
I have two.
Two.
So my son is 16 and my youngest is non-binary. They're 10.
Yep. Have they showed any interest in the business?
My son helps me with some rodent dropping clean outs. He doesn't like the people. So if it's a job where there's no people around, it's like a key account sort of thing, then yes, he'll help me. I just, look, I think it's great. And even the non-binary, and how you you stand by them with that. You're proud of what they are and what they're becoming. And it's, I just think that's really, really good. But I do believe that with the past that you've had, and has that really paved the way for you to where you are now? Like,
Has that helped?
It it has absolutely helped. It's helped me have a really good grasp on maintaining my compassion, even when you're in a situation that it's hard to be compassionate, because I can put myself in their shoes. I remember what it's like to not have a safe place. I remember how panicked I was all the time, how stressed I was, and how I was not the person that I am today because I couldn't. You're in panic mode all the time. Your brain can't think logically, and you can't take the time to process things, or your house isn't clean.
Yeah. Yeah. So Rachel, let's touch base with you now. You've got a little one on the way at
I
the
do,
moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
Our
So
little goth baby.
yeah. So it's only because I seen a picture. I thought she's got a belly, and I'm assuming she's pregnant. So,
Yeah.
so how far gone are you?
24 weeks.
Okay, yep. So you're nearly there, and you're still working. Obviously,
A little bit,
just
yeah.
changing roles a little bit until
Yes.
Bubs comes
So
along.
more or less, I'm just doing housing right now because that's what I like to do. So, my partner, he's my licensed technician, so we're like a little family business.
Yeah.
And I'm training my dad as well, actually, on helping out because you know, bed bugs and apartments in general are just easier with two people.
Yep.
So I find that, when you have, and I did it alone for so long that, having support just completely changes the game. And so I'd like to ensure that he has, those tools and that kind of, that backup as well, just to make the job more effective and just easier. So I'm just really doing that right now. So I work maybe 1-2 days a week.
Yep.
The rest of the time I'm just home, um, doing admin stuff, selling stuff, scheduling. And it's weird because like I used to do all
All
of
the
it.
boring stuff, right?
Well, yeah, and it's overwhelming. Like I feel like it's more overwhelming now. And maybe it's just because like I'm hormonal and stuff, but I feel like it's more overwhelming now than it was when I was in the field full time.
Yeah.
Because now I just feel like, the responsibilities have sort of shifted. And I do really like being home. And I feel like I'm kind of starting to get into that, that mode where I'm, I guess, nesting or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Because I would like it. So we're due in January, which is perfect because that's our winter. So it'll be very slow anyway. And then ideally I can go back to work part-time by the time that the wasps come back into the mid-late summer. My mom will be helping with taking care of our little guy. So we keep it very close. Like my parents are not far away.
Yep.
I have a really good support system. So like it really couldn't be a better time. So I plan to work until like shortly after Halloween, I think.
Yep.
Hopefully, maybe a little longer if I can, just because I like it. Like I feel like I'm going to be a little crazy not doing it.
It's
Like that's a little bit of a stressful.
Well, I did see the message from Suzy, like I'm going to have to fly over to see this Bubs, like it's Auntie
To have
Susie's
your little
coming.
your little
Auntie
goth guy.
Susie's
Yes.
coming.
So we're definitely going to have to set something up. That's going to be really, really fun. And I'm
Yeah.
really, really excited. Like it's going to be so great. And maybe one day he'll take over the company. Who knows? So it's a boy. We know it's a boy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Awesome.
I'm very excited to meet him.
So as a female technician, what setbacks have you had? Have you found that you've had any challenges? I guess in particular when you first started getting into the industry.
It's the same as Suzy said, like since I started my own, nothing. Like nobody dares these days to have the
Yeah.
audacity.
Too scared to.
Um,
Yeah.
they should be,
Yeah.
right? Like they really should be. If they're going to be calling me, they better not, why would they call me if they
Otherwise,
don't
it will
know
be
me?
their last call. You're
That's
going to
That's
do that.
exactly right. Why are you making the last call to kill them all if you don't even want to talk to me? But I've dealt with a lot of misogyny. Internalized misogyny was always the worst for me.
Yep.
When women would be weird to me because like knock knock, it's coming from inside the house. Like, do you hear yourself? Kind of thing. And there's been times where people have talked past me, like through me, to get to the man behind me.
Yeah.
There's time I'll be training guys, and people will talk through me.
They'll talk to the guy.
And safety was like a really big issue. Back in the day, I didn't really feel very supported. Like I didn't feel like I could really advocate for myself, or I would be put into situations that I knew were terrible situations, but I couldn't say, oh, I don't want to do this, because then it just sort of like looks bad,
Yeah.
on me if I don't do that kind of thing. But really, I mean, honestly, since I moved here, like and it's also a different sort of, it's just a different environment, right? So out here, it's quite rural, it's quite quiet, it's definitely not big city living.
Yep.
So it's just straight up not as many people. Like it's just the volume of work is different, the nature of the work is different. But I've run into all kinds of people just being scary and terrible. Like I've been threatened, I've been followed, I've been, harassed in the parking garage, like all that kind of stuff. And
Wow.
I'm just grateful I'm just grateful that's not a problem anymore. And I'm also a
Yeah.
lot scarier than I was back then. So, and I found that that's been something that's, kind of helped me out a lot is, sort of when I changed my, my vibe and my confidence got stronger. I found that people didn't really mess with me in the way that they did when I had long red hair, and,
Yep.
it was just a different attitude back then.
Yeah. That's might be the bug knuckles, maybe. They're like not messing with her. Not
And
doing that.
that's a fun
What's the
one.
most embarrassing thing you've done out on the field? Have you embarrassed yourself? How do I get myself out of this? Must be some doozies.
Well, I think the one that really stands out is I was working with my boss at the time. We were working in housing, and if he hears this,
Susie's laughing because she already knows the story because you talk all the time.
he's gonna be like, oh my God. I was squeezing like a bot, I think it was Demand, and I was just trying to like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I do.
Measure it, and I just went like, and I squeezed it so hard that the whole lid came off, the whole thing exploded, and it covered the whole ceiling. And I'm like, oh,
job's done.
I was like, but I bet you they didn't have any more bugs after that. Oh my God, it was so embarrassing. And I hadn't even been there that long when this happened, and I'm just like, oh no. And I was supposed to be like the supervisor, and like here I am like spraying chemical all over the place, like. And then I fell in the snow one time, and that was also really embarrassing.
Yeah. I reckon there's a lot of stories. What about you, Susan? Have you got any doozies that you can tell us? Any embarrassing moments?
I can't even remember what I wrote down, but I
Neither
have
can I,
definitely
because I don't look at it properly.
I've definitely slipped on the ice more than a few times, and have definitely ripped my pants
Yeah.
in front of people, because they're like, oh, you can go over the gate, or the gate's over there, and I'm like, that's okay, I'll just go over this tiny little fence, and then rip my pants open. It's okay. I only have another 6 hours of work. That's okay.
That's okay.
You do you have manholes out there? Do you got to climb through manholes and that in the houses and?
Well, I have mostly crawl spaces that I deal
Yeah.
with. So yeah.
How do you go? Like being a woman, like do your boobs get in the way? I
My
know
butt gets in the way.
like I know that hubby's made me do the odd job here and there just so I know what it's like. And seriously, like I've got to climb into a manhole and my boobs sometimes get stuck. Like I can't even get in there. It's just
I had to pack that in. Like I had to pack that in pretty early. Like as soon as I started to like grow, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I don't know. I don't like attics. Like I'm okay with crawl spaces, but I'm not okay with attics. I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is. That's just the height, maybe. It's
you
the
get
heat,
itchier in an attic.
itchy,
Like
the
very
smell.
itchy.
Yeah.
I
And
love
you
all
might
the
fall
sayings.
through.
Like the attic and the crawl spaces, always subfloors and the roof and it's just I love all your different sayings. It's pretty cool. But look, I do some doozies in the office too. I don't know how many times I've put the address in hubby's work calendar and I've got one number wrong. The
Oh no.
one and one job I sent him to and said, look, no one's going to be home. The client's not home, but the back door's open. And he's like, yeah, no worries. So he's gone in and the back door was open and no one was home. And he's, pretty much treated the whole home. And he said to me, I just had this uneasy feeling the whole time I was in there. And he just sort of happened to look at some paperwork or some letters that were on the kitchen bench. And it's like, that name's not matching up with the client's name that I've got on here. And he's rang me up and he's like, what's the address? And yeah, he was at the neighbour's house and he treated the neighbour, but yeah, he wasn't happy with me. He got out of there pretty quick.
I'm so afraid that's going to happen.
The back door was open, so and he knew the client wasn't going to be home. Just go in there and treat. So it's I've done some doozies. He's not happy with me when I do that. So it does happen. But yeah, look, yeah. You mentioned a book. I'm actually going to get this book, Rachel. The book, what is it? The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fruit Tingle. I won't say the name.
Yeah.
I actually, who writes it? I'm going to get that one because I've got to learn not to give a fruit tingle in my life.
It's an orange book. I know that the book is orange, and then he's got another one
with big black.
With big black on it, and then he's got another one. What is the other one called?
I'll get you to.
There's a second one. I'll tell you what it is. I'll find it and I'll message it to you. But it's one of those things that sort of deconstructed the way that I thought about stuff. So I remember my mom saying that when she turned 30, she stopped caring, caring really what people think. And she had told this to me in my mid-20s, and I'm just kind of like, well, I already don't care. I thought I didn't care, but now I really don't care, right? So like she was completely right about that. And at the time that I read that book, like I was going through some major life changes. Like everything was sort of, it really actually the pivotal moment, honestly, was going to Orlando for PestWorld. That sort of changed the entire trajectory of my life. Like that set me up for complete, and I'm just so grateful for that experience because it really did change my life. And I read that book around that same time, just when I was really going through it, and I was like, wow, I'm like, I really need to kind of stop. And I had to tell myself this like literally today, why do I care about stuff that nobody else cares about? Like, nobody cares if there's a little bit of laundry on my floor. Like, why do I care so much, right? So I really had to kind of take the book for what it was. And it's really one of those things that I recommend that everybody read. And then his follow-up book too. And I wish I could remember what it's called. I know it's in my bookshelf somewhere. I think it's called like Everything Is Left or something like that.
Yeah.
Well,
I want to read that book because I'm starting to learn to not give a fruit. So, and I think that book would do me good. But just going back to Orlando when you were there and the empowerment grant, what does that mean to you? What is it exactly? Because we don't know much about it over here. So is it a grant to help you obviously move forward within your business? What's involved?
So I got this. It was actually long before I started my business. Not long before, but it was my manager at the time who encouraged me to apply for this grant through the MPMA. And basically they give you $1,000 American, which ended up being a lot more in Canadian, which was kind of cool. And they also send you to PestWorld. And at the time, going to PestWorld was super unrealistic for me. So it gave me that opportunity, which introduced me to a whole new world. Because at the time, like I really didn't know a lot of women in the business. I didn't really know a lot of people in general. Like I just kind of had my own sort of egocentric box and what I thought the industry was. And then I used the money to get my ACE.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys have that down there. So I
have my ACE. We do, but it's the internet. They call it an international ACE.
They call our so it's the same thing for us.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, like it was not within my means to get the materials, to write the exam, to take the course. Like none of that was within my reach at the time.
Yeah.
So getting that grant allowed me to pay for it. honestly. And then when I was in Orlando, Sylvia, she gifted me Target's class, like the ACE prep class. I
Yes.
don't think I could have passed it without her.
Yep.
And so I took it. I studied for like 7, 8, 9 months, something like that. And I passed, and I have it. And it was one of the things I'm the most proud of.
Yep.
It was a really huge sort of chapter in my life to acquire something that I knew was a big deal. And at the time, there was, I think, only like 5 other women or something in Canada that had it.
Yep.
And it just, I'm so proud of that. And so that experience and meeting all those people and seeing how respected I was, and I didn't even know any of these people, and people were like knowing who I was, and I'm
Yeah.
like like that was really wild. And
Yeah.
it gave me sort of a renewed lease in the industry, and it really kicked off my passion. And from there, it was really just a matter of time until, and I think everybody kind of knew it, that it was
Yep.
sort of just a matter of time of me going through the motions before I was ready to do something bigger.
Yep.
And I've hit like a lot of the goals that I had, I've hit them. Like I sit on the board of directors now for the Structural Pest Management Association of Ontario,
Yep.
which has been a goal of mine for like 5, 6 years. And so
Yep.
now I feel like I
Well
really have a
done.
voice within it. I'm so proud of it. Like I feel like, and especially now too, that I'm able to kind of step back a little bit, and just sort of do more back end things. Um, I can focus on the things that I really love to do. And Suzy's in the ELP, the Executive Leadership Program, which I
Yep.
almost did. Good thing I didn't, because I couldn't commit to that now. Good
Ooh.
thing, maybe I knew. But
And
that's
that's
something
pretty
in a few
full on
years I'd
too,
like
isn't it,
to do.
Suzy? Like there's a lot involved in that leadership program. Let's
Yes.
quickly touch base on that because that's something I've followed for many years. We don't have that here in Australia, and I think it would be great if we had something like that here.
It is absolutely amazing. I don't know that I would have taken the leap to start like expanding my business had I not been in that program.
Yep.
And it was very ambitious of me to apply to be in that program
You
during
have to be
my like,
chosen, don't you? You can't just go into
yes,
this program. You have to be chosen to and be accepted.
yes. So I had to apply. I didn't, they had the most applications that they've ever had, and they selected 13 people. Um, you get paired with an industry mentor who I have Audrey Hall from
Yep.
EcoPest
Yep.
in Buffalo, New York, and she is absolutely amazing. Just
Yep.
um, it makes such a huge difference to just have kind of like a team working behind you, but just helping you become a better leader. And yeah, now I have just hired someone else, so I now have a second vehicle on the road, and I'm only
Yep.
in my second year of business, and it's kind
Yeah.
of
Yes.
mind blowing.
Yes. Yeah, no,
But
that's it is awesome work. And going back to Orlando, that was my very first Pest World that I'd ever attended, and was always a dream of um, my husband and I, and it was always out of our reach because it was so expensive to fly over from Australia. And he had just
Okay.
finished a bout of chemo. He'd been diagnosed at the time with stage 4 non-Hodgkin's follicular lymphoma. He really shouldn't be alive, and he went through his chemo, and that was a big, it was a rough time for us, and very challenging. I had to step up and run the business, and we'd always worked together as a team, so it was very daunting for me to do that. And when he got or when we got the all clear that he was in remission, we're like, that's it, we're going to Pest World. And that was one of our dreams that we wanted to do. And we just thought, you only live once, and life is
mm-hmm,
so limited, and you don't want to waste it. So that's what we did. I went to Orlando, and I had no intentions of attending the women's breakfast because even then I was probably still a little bit of an anti-feminist and just thought, oh no, I'm not going. And a friend convinced me to go, and that changed my life. It really did, that breakfast, because I sat there and now remember you getting up to get the empowerment grant and sat there and listened to many of the women talking, and I thought, we don't have that here in Australia. And that is, I wanted to bring that over to here, and that was one of my goals. Wouldn't have done that, wouldn't be where I am now doing Women in Pest if it wasn't for that breakfast. So it's yeah, it definitely was a life changer for me, and I will be attending the one in Hawaii. Now, Suzy, you're going to that one?
I am, yes.
I will get to meet you face to face.
Yes.
So, and it's not far away. What do we got? It's
No,
just over a
2
week.
weeks.
2 weeks. Oh, I'm saying over a week because I'm flying over early and having a bit of beach time while I'm in Hawaii. And yeah, so you'll be at the breakfast then, Suzy?
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. Yeah, no, awesome. I'll be looking forward to that. So and obviously, Rachel, you can't go because you've got a little bundle of joy, and hopefully you'll be at next year's. And yeah,
I'd like to. I think it's in Denver.
Yes,
I think
yes,
so.
Yeah,
which is realistic. I'd like to. And you saw me how excited I got about the mountains, so I would really like to see some more. I do. I love the mountains. I got to get real excited about them. So I would really like to go to. I don't think I can go to Halifax for our pest this because I think it'll be too close.
It's February again. Yeah.
So
no, I think it's like March or April, but I think I might be too fresh, but I don't know yet.
You might need some time away too.
That's true. I might need some
you
time
might need
away.
some sanity.
I have no idea what to expect. I'm relying on some guidance.
Yeah, you'll be fine. If you run into problems, just ring Suzy. She'll be there for you.
Yeah. I'm coming.
Yes, one of the things one of you girls mentioned, I'm not sure which one it was, but with the training side of things, with pest control, one of you mentioned that you have to renew like every 5 years. What's involved in that?
We both have to do that. Yeah. Except I don't have to rewrite anything. Manitoba does.
You just have to pay.
I just have to pay.
Okay, so it's just like that's just like a licensing type of thing. You don't have to, you don't have to reset a course or do anything like that. It's just
not yet. We're trying to get continuing education units to Ontario. Like Ontario is so big, and we've got so many people, and there is really no accountability. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to sit on the board is because I really feel like, you have guys who have been licensed since 1992 and they're still doing it the same way, and they
haven't changed their ways.
They haven't changed. Like they're still, like they're putting globs of bait this big, like all over the counters. And like, nobody has
spraying
said
dragnet for roaches.
Dragnet for bed bugs.
Yeah.
Like dragnet for exteriors. Like nobody is really, they don't, if they don't have to be accountable, then they don't. And like, I really like to learn. Like I attend every conference and workshop that I can get my hands on because I love it. But if we don't have to do it, then most people don't. And like the people who don't are the people that should. So all we have to do is we got to pay $90 per license we have. I think I have like 7. So it's a very big expense every 5 years. But Suzy has to like rewrite it's like rewrite or something. Like there's something more than just money, and we need something more.
I have to pay every year $100 a license. Yeah, $100 a license every year. And then I have to rewrite every 5 years. And Manitoba's Pest Management Association has been trying for decades to make it so that we have to have continuing education credits, but they don't want to lose the revenue stream.
Well, we have the exact same issue here. Pretty much, we have the exact same issue, and it is very, very frustrating. And this is one of the things I love about Denny Miller's assess-based pest management. I'm really jumping on board with that, and we had her do a talk about that when she come over here to Australia. It's something that we're jumping on board with our business. Getting that. But we're lucky in the fact that my husband's a trainer and assessor, so we're constantly training our staff. And but it's frustrating. It's very frustrating to watch, but what I wanted to ask, and this is just just come to me now, Rachel. What is Tums? Now,
Okay.
first of all, I'm
I'm
thinking
so glad
she's
you brought this
pregnant.
up.
It's some sort of chocolate, or it's
No,
something. Is it a Tim Tam? Is it?
it's
But
it's
I'm
an
thinking,
antacid. It's an antacid because I have really bad heartburn, and I've had heartburn for 6 months. Like I have heartburn, like, normally, but like with this pregnancy, like I am eating them like candy. And when I saw that question, all I could think of is I can't live without Tums. I have some in my truck. I have some in my bedstand. I have some right there. Like they are everywhere in my house because I eat them all the time because like my tummy is upset constantly and I can't
Do
live
you have the
without them.
fruit ones?
I did actually
I have
Google
the
that one a
assorted
little
berry
bit.
ones. They've got chewy ones now. I don't know if you've seen those. They're kind of
Oh,
gross.
no.
That's what I said.
Mm.
They look good, but they're kind of gross. But they work.
So I'm
And
thinking
like
that's
that's
something similar to our like my Lanta or something we have like for heartburn and stuff
like
like
you
It's
get
that.
like
like
a
the acid
chalky thing.
reflux or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
It's what is
yeah,
it? Calcium, I think. Calcium and
Yeah.
magnesium or something.
yeah.
And
Because
it
I
just
seen
like
like
takes
Suzy,
them.
like hers was antiperspirant, like you can't live without
Good
that. And
one.
I
Good
can,
one.
It's true.
I can't live
I
without that. And I'm not out on the road. I'm just in the office, and I can't live without that. So and then when I read yours, Rachel, I thought Tums. Now that she's pregnant, so it could be
That's
chocolate.
funny. I didn't even consider the fact that that's not a universal thing.
But I loved it. I did Google it. I thought Tums, and then I thought I got all this weird stuff coming up. Then I went Tums, Canada,
Uh,
and
There you
then I'm
go.
thinking I think it's something from the pharmacy, from the
That's so
chemist.
funny.
So,
Yeah.
but
And I said this out loud too. I was like, I wonder if she's going to talk about me saying that I eat tons.
yeah, all the fun stuff. Like,
Oh, too funny.
got to talk about the fun stuff. Otherwise, the interview might get a bit boring. So, but all right. I want to hear the Lord's Prayer in Latin, Rachel.
Do you
oh,
really?
Yep,
Okay.
I want to hear it.
Pater noster, qui in caeli, sanctificetur nomen tuum, et veniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua sicut in caelo et in terra, panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis odie, et dimitte nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimittimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo. I swear to God, I learned that in grade 9.
You
And it is
obviously
I'm
that
surprised
one
you
really
didn't light
stuck.
on fire.
well, that's it, right? Like I didn't even, and I don't know why I retained that one thing from grade 9. I don't remember a single other thing from high school, but it is my favorite party. It really is. Sometimes I just whip it out, especially since how like, visibly blasphemous I
Yeah.
look when I start reciting the Lord's Prayer. It's like I'm talking in tongues and people are like, what?
She's
Yeah.
possessed.
It's a fun one.
Well, that is a hidden talent. I did
It
ask,
is.
what hidden talent has she got? And I
Yeah.
thought, I'm going to make her say that now. I
It's
want to
my
hear
sneaky
it.
one. Yeah. Now everybody knows.
Yeah. So what was your hidden talent, Suzy? I can't remember now. Did you put down a hidden talent?
I don't even know that I have one.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure.
Probably.
So,
I'm a soup goddess. That's mine. I'll
yes,
make it.
yes. I had to Google that, and I Googled a soup witch, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I wasn't getting much answers. What is a soup witch?
I just have this innate ability to make a good soup. So,
So literally a good soup,
yep,
not
just a
soup.
good soup. Just
Good soup.
yep.
Because I was Googling, I thought this is a name for something in
No,
particular, and I'm not getting it. So,
nope. I just like making soups and stews and gravy.
well, look, I love soups and gravy, but I love soups at the moment. I'm on a health kick, so I've got to lose weight before I go to Hawaii because I'm going to put on
Ah,
a lot of weight when I'm in Hawaii. I can just feel it, and so I've
I
been
make
on.
a really good. It's called sauerkraut soup,
Oh,
and
that's a cabbage, is it?
yeah, my kids
Yeah.
love it. They hate sauerkraut, but they both absolutely love it. It's just a vegetable soup, and then you dump a jar of
The
sauerkraut with the
sauerkraut in it.
juice in there. Yeah.
I'm going to try that because I actually do like sauerkraut. I love
I'll
it.
do like hot Italian sausage in there too. It's really good.
Oh, yeah. But you are a soup witch. That's good.
Yes, yes.
So, all right. I would love to just keep talking. I really would. But I'm going to have to let you girls go because it's nighttime there. What time is it there now? Where you girls are?
8:40,
20 to
7:40.
7. Yeah.
Yeah, so
7:40.
it's 9:40 in the morning here, so it was a little bit early for me to pour a glass of wine while I was talking to you. I thought about it.
I didn't even bring myself a delicious beverage as we were sitting here.
I have coffee
Wasn't even
instead.
thinking ahead. Yeah, I saw your pumpkin mug. You must have something delicious in there.
Look, it's from Tim Hortons. It changes color, and there's a spider with a little Timbit behind.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my
do
God.
you girls go all out for Halloween? Like, do you decorate the whole house and everything? Are you going all out?
My whole
I'm
house is
assuming you
Halloween
do,
all
Rachel.
year.
Right, all the
My whole
time.
house,
Yeah.
it's all Halloween all year. This is
Yeah,
when I shop for my decor.
Yes.
Like I
yeah.
don't shop for decor any other time of year. I start shopping for Halloween in like July. And I go right until November
What?
2nd.
I actually
That's what I
really
miss
like
about Target.
I love like gothic furniture, like and my style of house. It's sort of a cross between Balinese and goth. So and also I've gone nuts on Indian doors as well. So I've kind of combined the whole lot. So, but the way my house looks like when you open my front doors, I've got like a drawbridge as you walk into the house, and I've got like a pond underneath. So it's
Oh
medieval
wow.
looking. It's very medieval
Uh-huh.
looking.
I want a
And
pond in my house.
You got a
yeah,
moat.
it's just that's what sold me the house. I walked in, I didn't look at anything else. I like the pond. I'll buy this
I'll
house.
buy it.
So
I
Sold.
would too. I
yeah,
would.
Yeah.
and hubby and I
Wow.
agreed on it because we have got very different tastes, so it's really hard to find something that we both like. So yeah, when we both liked the house, we thought this is the house because we're not even going to look at another one. But yeah, so my house is it's got a lot of it's very medieval looking, but it's got a bit of a Balinese twist to it. So I really like all that goth stuff, and I think it's
I
yeah,
just have a lot of dead stuff. A lot of
Yeah.
dead stuff, a lot of skulls, a lot of jars, weird jars.
oh
Lots
my
of
God, you sound like
taxidermy.
my husband. I just made
I have a skunk in my backyard that's
Oh yeah, you're
being
still working
eaten
on
by
that
a
bad
bug.
boy. Yeah.
The skull
what's
is
in your
almost
jars?
free. Yeah.
What's in your jars?
Uh
What dead things have you got in your jars?
um I have this is gonna be really gross. I have a okay. So
I
we
can't
did
be
a
any more
job.
gross than what my husband's had. I can tell you that now.
Okay, well we'll see. We did this job where we had like an enormous amount of rats. So we popped the heads off and we put like 9 rat heads in a jar. And then yeah, and then this one's fun. My hubby's grandmother, I swear she's got to be goth just like me because she has a little jar of like baby birds that she had kept over the years, and she gifted that to me. So now that's on my wall as well. I've got a lot of
Are they
diaphanized
in
stuff.
like are they like
It's in
in
like
I'll show
a
you.
menthol or
liquid?
something
Yeah,
to
they're
preserve.
they're in like formalin.
Okay, okay.
So it's like a little like mason jar thing. I'll dig it out and I don't kind of
Hmm.
can't believe I've never showed you this. And I've got
Yeah.
like lots of bugs, and I've got a lot of empty jars. I've got actually got a rat in like it's diaphanized, so it's got like all the colors in it,
I
and
want
it's
to
like
do
this
that.
big. Yeah, so
What? That's the
come to
size of the
this
rat.
where my house is a museum. The jar itself is about this
Oh,
big, but yeah,
okay.
the rat's pretty big and it's kind of skinny.
Yep.
And then I like poison jars. I like old pesticide containers. Like I've got a bunch of, actually, you can kind of see them right there. Those are all like vintage sprayers. And
Okay.
I got
Yes.
some more over
Yep.
there. And I
Yep.
really like I got a lot of bugs. Like I've got a lot of like bugs in glass, and I've got a lot of crystals, and I've got a lot of skulls, and I got a little hornet's nest
Yep.
that I found that's like this big. I've got crow wings. I've got all kinds of weird stuff. Like
Ooh.
Wow. Crow
just,
ring.
yeah.
That's an
I've got
interesting one.
have you ever seen the movie Midsummer? It's like my favorite movie. I
Oh,
have a rat taxidermy thing of that.
I saw
So
that. Yeah.
I love things that are like unusual, and you see it and you're like, that's kind of gross. I want it. And like the weirder the better. Like
Well,
I can't get enough weird
when
stuff.
I
I have
come to
lots of indigenous
Canada,
art. You what?
when I come to Canada, I'm gonna have to stop in with hubby just so he can
It's a
look at
museum.
your collection.
He'll love it.
Um,
It's yeah. We charge
I've
like 10
actually
bucks
made
admission
him
now.
get rid of his because his was starting to get a bit smelly. But he's had
Oh.
everything from like kangaroo scrotums. Like,
Oh, fun.
Oh,
why would you want to put a kangaroo's balls in a jar? Like,
I've
why
got
not?
raccoon penis
you
bones.
know.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm just
yeah,
trying
they
to think
have
of,
bones.
he had a lot of
Yeah. I
venomous
have a bag of them.
reptiles. And his mum, she bred some Cavalier puppies, and one of them died, so that went into a jar.
The jar.
His
Sure.
brother's tooth, that he kept all weird things, and
In the jar.
yeah, everything he
jars
just
are for.
had jars and jars and jars and jars of
I've got jars in my truck for when I find weird stuff.
yeah.
People will text me and be like, "Do you want this skull?" And I'm like, "I do."
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
All the stuff.
The answer is always yes.
I'm so excited because my newest little business partner does resin work. So she's super excited because she's like collecting all the little skulls, and she's like, "I'm gonna make stuff out of them."
Scorpions and tarantulas and things in there, and hubby now he's fixated on putting things in the freezer. If anything dies, it goes in the freezer.
Oh my gosh, my freezer's full of bugs.
Dead snake, dead chook. He's got his own freezer now. I will not share my food freezer with him. And I swear to God, if I die, I'm going in that freezer. I know it. But he did say he'll only keep the best parts and put the best parts of me in the freezer.
In the jar.
Your imagination to that, I guess. So
in the jar. That's where it's got to go.
I know I'm not going in a jar. I'll go in the freezer. So it's I found all sorts of things in the freezer, and even live rats once, because he's got reptiles. He used to breed his own rats, and he donged them on the head, put them in the freezer for food, but obviously he didn't dong them on the head hard enough. They went unconscious and they all come back to life again. So I've opened the freezer and all these little rats are huddled and trying to get out of the freezer, and no wonder I have nightmares. So
oh my God.
I think he would fit in well with you, Rachel. I think he would get on really, really well.
Well, come to the museum. It's going to be fun.
Start charging for that.
Come on up. That's what everybody's saying. They're like, you got to charge admission. I'm like, well, not like anybody comes here, but if you do, throw me $10 in the jar. Like,
put it in the jar.
Jar for that.
I got a jar for that. I got jars for everything. Like, it's just unbelievable. It's so much fun.
All right, ladies.
You must have a lot of really cool creatures, like a lot of cool like spiders and scorpions and stuff down there.
Yeah, we do, but I think we find your stuff more exciting because we don't have it.
Or we find your stuff more exciting because we don't have it.
Like none of our stuff is gonna kill us.
Yeah, none of our stuff is like big.
Like the bears and the mountain lions and all that over there, they scare the
not
hell
irrational.
out of me.
I am afraid of bears.
Yeah.
I am afraid of
bears. Hell out of me.
Mountain lions are scarier though, I think.
Yeah. Well, and you're not allowed to do anything with mountain lions.
Yeah, I watch those shows and people are walking in the national parks or whatever, and then they get attacked by a mountain lion, and I'm just thinking, I went for a walk yesterday and there was a red belly black snake just sitting on the pathway, and I got all excited and took photos and everything. And see, even though it was venomous, that didn't bother me because I know the nature of them, and I know that it's not going to chase me and eat me. But
if a mountain lion, like, say your prayers, like, that's it. If you see a black bear, like, you can probably scare it.
Yeah.
But if you see a mountain lion, like, that is it for you probably.
A grizzly bear, you're done.
We don't have grizzly bears like here, thankfully, because
no, I think grizzly bears are really only in BC, aren't they?
Yeah,
or like maybe far up north, but
maybe far, like up like towards Timmins and stuff.
And we have polar bears, but very far away, very far away.
Is it common mountain lions to attack though, or is it like it's very rare?
It doesn't happen very often, I don't think.
Yeah,
not often.
Super rare. Like mountain lions, cougars here are so rare that they're very protected. Like you cannot shoot them. If it was attacking,
I think you're more likely to get attacked by a cow or something.
Oh, unless you're in Texas. Aren't you allowed to shoot everything in Texas, or don't they shoot everything?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. Allegedly.
We don't know what goes on.
They're wild down there.
Yeah, we're fine. We're good.
I'm okay up here, yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Look, we do have lots of venomous stuff over here, but I think because we're used to it, we know what they're like. To us it's not so scary, but your things scare me so much more, but that's because it's foreign to me. Like when I go over there were so many walks I wanted to go on, and there was a sign that said beware of mountain lion. I'm not going on that walk.
Well, that's enough for me.
Yeah, no.
I'm out of here. So
I'd love to see Australia one day. I'll come see you when I'd love to get down there one of these days.
Oh, absolutely. I got spare rooms. So
there we go.
Ooh.
Yep. You got to
It's
come
a big
over.
long flight.
Let's go, Rachel, together.
Yeah.
Let's just go.
We'll leave the boys at home.
Everybody stay here. We're leaving.
Do a girly thing. That's good. Welcome anytime, girls. I've got spare rooms. So it's
so fun.
Look, it's been an absolute pleasure to hang out with you girls, and I'm bummed that you're not going to be at PestWorld, Rachel, but I will get photos and a little video of Suzy and I, and I'll send it over to you.
I'd love to see it. Yes. So you guys have extra fun for me.
Yeah,
extra
I will I'll be in touch, Suzy. So we will connect even outside of the breakfast. Hopefully we'll connect. Where are you staying? Have you booked your accommodation?
Oh, yeah. Let me just check. Jillian just sent that to me. I think
I'm at Outrigger, Waikiki or something like
Sheraton, Waikiki.
Yeah. Okay, Waikiki. Yeah. Waikiki. Is that how you say it? Waikiki?
Waikiki.
Waikiki? Yeah. Yeah. I just say Waikiki. Waikiki.
So it's gonna be so fun. You guys are gonna have the best time.
I'm really looking forward to it because I haven't been over to PestWorld since San Diego, and that was an awesome conference. So I'm looking forward to this one. And
this is my first US PestWorld, so I have no idea what to expect.
Big, you expect big, like it's
That's
just
what
like
I'm thinking,
the conference on steroids. It really is. So
everything down there is huge.
Yeah,
I was in DC in March, and it was just like everything is massive down there.
Yeah, it's just like it really is a conference on the next level, and their motivational speakers are next level. Like I just get so much out of it, and I'm really looking forward to it because I know so many more people now being involved with Women in Pest. I've met so many, not just women, but men, like so many people that I'm constantly chatting on my phone. And because I'm up most of the night, I don't sleep at night. So that's when all you people are awake. So constantly, having a chit chat. I know, I've even got out of bed during the night once. Bobby Terry and I had a bit of a convo on the phone. Like she's worked out how to video messenger so we can actually see each other when we're talking.
She's lovely.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome. But no, lovely to meet you girls face to face. And
awesome. Thanks so much for having us. This is really fun.
Yeah, thank you.
And I've got I did send some forms, so I'm gonna shoot them out to people too, so people can get to know you girls a little bit better. And I'm looking forward to releasing this because, like you in particular, Rachel, you do have a bit of a following over here in Australia. I don't know if you know that, but there are people who watch your TikToks. They watch your TikToks. So
I gotta make some more. I haven't made one in ages.
I've said to a few people, I'm interviewing Rachel Mendes, and they're like, oh, she's the TikTok chick, the pest chick on TikTok. Yep, that's the one.
So good.
So it's really
I gotta make a new TikTok now.
People are watching your content, which is really cool. So are you on TikTok, Suzy? Are you making TikToks?
I am on TikTok, but I have been so busy. I don't think I've posted a video work-wise in a long time. I think I did one this year. Crazy Wasps.
Yeah. So I still watch yours, Rachel. You have a bit of a cackle watching yours, so it's good fun.
That's amazing. I love that.
They are funny.
Yeah. We'll keep in touch, ladies, and thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate it. You girls are awesome. You're the best Pestie Besties. Seriously. You girls need to start your own little, Zoom thing and record it and be putting it out there, because I reckon we'll get some
with our banter.
Yeah, banter. Yeah. I think you girls should do that.
Yeah. We'll do our, pre 8 a.m. anti-capitalism rants. I think that would be a really big, that'd be a really big hit.
Pay your employees better.
Yes. Amazing. So good.
But thank you again, girls. I'm going to stop recording. I'll still be here, so don't log off when we chat. And then,